Ba-ba-dum-ba-dum-bum. Bum bum ba ba dum ba dum bum ba dum bum 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 bum. Bum bum ba ba dum ba dum bum ba da dum ba ba dum ba dum bum. Bum bum ba ba dum ba dum bum ba dum bum 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 bum. And thank you so much for coming back to this one. This is the stream that works, everybody. This is it. This is it. It's going to work. It's going to be brilliant. My name's Rocky Outcrop. Thank you so much for joining me today for this amazing technical analysis episode where we look at AMC and GME, Gamestop, and Bitcoin, and all the other good stuff. Really, everything's going to be fantastic in this show. But before we start, how about a little sing along, huh? Ba-dum bum ba-ba-dum ba-dum bum ba-da-dum ba-ba-dum ba-dum bum 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 ba-ba-dum ba-dum bum ba-dum bum 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 bum. Today I'ma buy me some GME and get me some more old AMC. We're struggling against this inflation, see, and I'm looking out for you and me. Cause hey ho, the hedges are fucked and our stock picks are going up. I'll win when everyone wins, just gonna hodl on to these things. So today I bought some GME, scooped it up at 217, dreaming of the movies that I am gonna see. Got my tickets at 53, cause hey ho, the hedges are fucked and our stock picks are going up. I'll win when everyone wins, just gonna hodl on to these things. Thank you for joining me. What we'll be doing in this show, of course, is looking at GME and AMC. Thank you so much for the donation, Daniel. That's very much appreciated, and I hope you enjoyed the shanty there, and I hope everybody else is having a really, really excellent day. You've tuned into the #1 premium hotspot for technical analysis. Looking at GME right now and thinking, can we do it again? Can we do it again? Looking at that 222222222 number on that one, 222. And over there on AMC, we had already identified that there could be this little bit of a range here, hence the crayons on the old chart. I'm happy enough to see this maintain the gap. That would be pretty nifty. Hey, Arnie McInnes, you're a full-blown pirate, my friend. Thanks so much. Bing Bong's donation to the Wi-Fi fund. I don't know what happened there. It just needed to be off and on again. That may be the best damn pirate I've ever seen. Thanks so much, Chris. Yay. So, look at that. So close to 222, really. You know, that white line just above our head shows us where that gap region was. Much appreciated for the donos, chappies. And yeah, if we can get above it, then of course things are looking a bit better than they otherwise would be. Would be nice if on these lows here, on the 1 hour time frame, that we were able to see some bullish divergence. Let me just check and see if that's the case, and also get up my old notifications jobby so I don't miss any of these things coming in. Thanks so much, by the way, Jorge, for donating. Welcome back, Rocky. Thanks so much, Jorge. Yeah. I like you very much. So wouldn't it be nice if on these lows here, kind of looking along this sort of region where we can see lows coming in that are lower than their prior low, wouldn't it be nice if there was some sort of bullish divergence? How about I just take this thing here? Is that a white line that can just stretch out? Nah, I have to draw on a new one. Well, you know, no rest for the wicked over here. Wouldn't it be nice if we saw some bullish divergence? Maybe something that looked a little bit like that. Right here. Right here, right now. Now, we did see the cross here in the 1 hour time frame of the DMI. Of course we did. And the ADX dived immediately into that chop territory, showing us that it isn't like a massive, it's not got any strength behind it at the minute, which is why we're looking at 222 again. And then over there on AMC, dreaming of all the movies I'm gonna see, we have we have this we have this region, right, where the gap was, and we obviously want to maintain it. We've people kind of looking at both charts here have had a reasonable kind of lesson recently with regards to that, not lesson I suppose really, but experience of have coming down and finding support at a gap and then kind of pushing down past it, and having that sort of area identified for us on the charts fairly readily. Well, we're doing the same sort of thing here. Are we able to maintain it? We're still looking and saying that the best buy price on this thing could end up being like 46 or whatever, which is obviously quite a reasonable discount there on the price if it happens. But preferring to see it maintain this position it is at the minute and not drop below 52 in terms of its close. So the prices of both of these things are really well positioned for a decent close on the day, 8:15 at the minute. Oh yes, I was talking about the DMI before I got distracted by myself. We did see it cross over there on the 1 hour time frame, and we dive straight into chop. Well, this is the 4 hour time frame. We've crossed over. Wait a minute. That's the 1 hour time frame. That's the 4 hour time frame. We had this sort of Rick and Morty lip thing that happened in, just kind of showing us that the trend just at that point where it really could have flipped over hasn't done so as it stands quite yet. So people patiently waiting in the wings, I suppose, for that 177 buy area. If it does come in to sort of manifest itself into reality, for them may have a degree more waiting to do on that front. I suppose it's maybe worth pointing out as well in terms of AMC that upside we've got that gap there as well just on the way, but it would be nice to see that getting filled out over the next couple of days without much aplomb, and then moving on to our subsequent targets up the way. The fact that we had a bounce there right at the top, putting in one of those Williams fractals. Don't pay too much attention to the words in that sentence if you don't already understand them, because I'm not talking about fractals. And one of those Williams fractals there. And we then, of course, pull back down to this region. Well, fair enough. Okay, so taking that out now has another reason of confluence at this stage, because we had two there to begin with when we drew it in. Now, of course, we have the fact that our prior price action was there, and that is the high to beat to start for us to say that we're putting in higher highs and higher lows. Ultimately, of course, we could see the prices dropping down, and just if they were to put in a higher low overall, that'd be fine. But we're waiting to see how this thing more or less pans out on that front. Okay, dokie, cool. So anyway, I'm just going to catch up with the chat for a couple of minutes here, 7 minutes into the stream, giving people a bit of a kind of rough summary of where we are just now on those charts at the minute. I'll just actually add on my DMI onto the right hand side here as well, just so they look the same. So they look the same. Yeah, that's the basis of my. That's how I operate. Yep, I just want them to look the same. Now, okay. Oh, technical analyzing with gas. Doppelganger. Hey, Rocky. Any comments on the DD announcement? Oh, the Fed. Read that wrong. Read what you want to read sometimes. Talk about DD there. Hey, Rocky. Any comments on the Fed announcement today? No, I don't have any comments on it. What's the Fed announcement today? Fed announcement today. There we go. Keeping abreast of everything nice and quickly here. Oh, something happened 3 hours a day. 3 hours ago today. Fed decision day and pill presser live blog. Oh wow, must have been really, everything was going down there in the world of that. Was it about then anyway? Forecast interest rate rise. Yes, well, that would make sense after the reverse repo effort. It's all part of the Fed's monetary policy. It's going to have to adjust the range to move the tolerance to accommodate for that with the Fed base rate, and that's been signaled to us very, very clearly with the reverse repo action. So that's my comments on that. I'd expect that maybe nothing materializes. I don't know, actually. I've got no real expectations about it, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a change in the excess reserve rate, which is currently standing at 0.1%. For example, right, Bing Bongs says that jiu-jitsu guy. I echo that right back at you. Bing bong, mate. Ping pong, biddy bing bing. Yo, Rocky, hope you're good, buddy. Yeah, man, I'm totally good. Doing really well over here. Thanks so much. Luke Spear says, yes, I made it here. Hey, Luke, nice to see you. If you want to see me having a wee sing-song there, you can go back to the start and watch that wee bit again. It's dreadful. And then catch up. Saying no change, nothing crypto. Saying no change, nothing crypto. Oh, right. It was only about inflation. It's about inflation. And well, all of that good stuff, right? Macro, fiscal, financial policy. Rocky Outcrop, too funny that I have to turn to. Wait, sorry. suffering from reading issues at the moment. I actually could have one of those slight migraines where I go slightly blind, slightly. I'm not too sure if that's what's happening. Have to read a couple more sentences. Rocky Outcrop, too funny that I have to turn you way up, but have to turn Jimmy way down. Lols. Oh shit, is that right? Can I maybe try and do something a bit more about that at the minute? With that setting, no, that setting's up at the max already. But this setting, ooh, there's a little bit more volume. Haha, probably makes F all difference at your end though. Could we look at the price of gold in relation to the Fed gathering today? Okay, cool, right. Well, I'll let other people come up with the whole relationship with the Fed gathering today. We'll just look at the charts, right? We'll do it that style. I'll definitely do that, lol. Yeah, sweet, cheers. See you in a second then. Look, enjoy it. Sing along, sing along. Merrick Sanders chatting with Tradespot in there. Good one, nice one. He seemed extremely shaky and nervous. They're expecting something huge. Oh, something huge. Oh, cool. 220 at the minute on GMEs. Nice. 254 on AMC. Nice. I think we probably bought ourselves 5 minutes, I'm sure, in terms of time to be able to go and have a wee dander off to the land of Oz, of course, where the paves are streaked with yellow bricks. Where's the fucking gold? Wait, what one do I want to look at? Excuse my language. Anyone will do. Anyone will do. Just type in gold. Go with whatever shows up on the charts. Yeah, no, I'm looking at gold. It's a CFD though. It's a CFD on gold, US dollars per ounce. It ties damn well close to the price of gold, you know, and the volume on gold. So there's nothing really to be said about it at the minute. This is what, the 4-hour time frame. It's got that classic Wyckoff distribution top that people like to talk about. We've come back down to the obvious target just here. That's right. This is going to now go into a phase of doing what, I mean, it's not massively, you know, the chances of this doing anything which we haven't seen before are fairly slim. So how about we look for like a super recent example of something that we've seen before doing this thing. Bing bong. So here's the Bitcoin chart on the 24-hour time frame. Now, I'm not doing any sort of crazy, sort of massively drawn comparisons between things in a sort of crazy way. I'm not going to say that one's going to follow the other. That would be nut job stuff, the sort of thing that you would read by some or watch somebody who's very new to trading or never learned the whole time they were doing it about anything sort of talk about. But what we can do is make a quick comparison here side by side by just kind of showing you in terms of the general theory about these things and the charts and all that good stuff, right? So bringing that up full screen, dropping down to the 4-hour time frame and showing you the general look and feel of this and how does it look and feel overall, right? So just speaking at this point here, you know, once we've dropped down to come into where our previous knot was, now Bilkowski would call this here area on the chart in this area here a knot. And we've come down to that region. So as you can see, ding dang ding dang do. The chances of us coming down to this region here today were really high, stacked up against us, you know, having done certain things like push down here the other day. So when it comes to these sorts of Fed announcements, obviously, I'm not saying this is insider trading. I'm just saying that the writing's on the wall, you know, this being the wall, for example, over here. So you can see blah, 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 blah. And we're at this stage just now. So we're looking to see, will we get a bounce at some point and how will that bounce perform? That's really all that really actually matters at this stage on this one. For where we are just the now. Now, of course, if we do crash on down the way, then we'll know all about it. But just in terms of talking about this from what's typical on a chart that looks like this is the 4-hour time frame. So we'll expect this to kind of operate somewhat quicker in the sense than what happened there in crypto in that 24-hour time frame. So then on that front, let's bring back up the full gold chart now that I've done that comparison. Wow, that was something different, wasn't it? Oh, that was a bit educational. Sexy stuff, Rocky. Excellent. Thanks so much. I'm hearing all those compliments coming in from the crowd. Of course, I'm not reading them or anything, but I feel it. I sense it. Right. So looking from that high, this is 24-hour time frame on gold, going down to the low in terms of the broad picture that we're at right now. This describes a better story of the overall gold picture than the 4-hour time frame does, just looking at that region just there. And no doubt you'll also notice those two lines that are flowing along in the chart right now. So if I actually hide this off just here, you'll see that the two lines are coming in. The white line here, that's the 200 simple moving average. This is the daily time frame, and you have this red line over here, which is coming up to kind of cross over that white line, and the prices have moved down to meet it. So accommodating of them, isn't it? Really, truly wonderful, madly, deeply is. Thanks, gold, for being so accommodating and doing exactly what technical analysis would expect of you. Now, we can also put the drawings back on there and see that the context of this is that we actually went up for a 618 golden pocket retracement. Bish, bash, bosh, job's a good one. Then we drop back down. Now, in this process, we've clearly, evidently dropped back down beneath this 0.5 line here. If I just line this up with a horizontal doodah on the charts, that's what that's technically called there. Then zoom back in again to that picture that we were looking at, and actually bring up the 4 hour time frame again as well, and show you a bit closer. Zooming on out, you can see that this is the point that I said, of course, that when the prices dropped down below, then of course the writing was on the wall again as well. So you can see how that lines up not only with the with what I'd said earlier on, but now evidently with that 50% Fibonacci retracement line. Oh my goodness, Rocky, what is this? This is like you're just showing off now, Rocket. You're just showing off. Well, at this stage here, we can see that the clear point that we need to see the prices moving back up to are going to be in that zone where we're at previously. So you can see that 50% lining up there with this 236. Now, how did we know just looking at this that the prices would be below that? Well, it's evidenced quite clearly by the traverse of the prices from the 618 golden pocket back down past that 50% area. It means that you kind of, pretty solid bet at that stage that you're also taking out the 236. That's the it's a standard operational practice between two Fibonacci zones, really, overall on that one. And you can see then the prices have come down to a sort of no man's land. Where is the future? What is the future risk of this one? Well, then to suggest to people in any sorts of a way when looking at this chart that they couldn't see the prices coming down to anywhere in this zone here, to down towards 1800 on the gold prices. Here we are at 1839, 1840 more or less at the moment. To suggest that that couldn't happen would be madness. But then to suggest that you'd be hoping to see a turnaround within this zone without actually making closures in here wouldn't be, because if you did make closures down here, then of course you're cascading on down the way. The 382 Fibonacci point at this point here is kind of what you're hoping to see operate as the saving grace on this one, so you can come back up and challenge that 200 simple period moving average there. Then if we did crash on down past that, I'd be looking and saying, well, your best buy entry on this one is going to be that 618. Why? Well, because there's the classic, you see it everywhere, you've seen it once, you've seen it 1,000 times, the inverse opposite sort of relationship with the 236 of this Fibonacci, which of course the big broad term one here from the highs down to those lows, which would become invalidated with, of course, taking out that 618, which kind of underlines the importance when people talk about the reason to stay above these zones. And this is kind of how, if you want to do it well, you do it. So that's what we have at the minute. Is it feasible, conceivable? Is it possibly able to do what would be so pleasable for us to go back up to this price point just from where we are just now? Sure it is, but we're not going to discover an awful lot here right now, right now. Looking at just this information alone, we can see that there's evidently a gap here for us. Shall we kind of see that, kind of sanitize that a little bit by dropping on something like the Ichimoku cloud and seeing, do we see anything here for us at the minute here? Not so much. Let's make it kind of obvious for ourselves by dropping this box in at the low point where the prices are, and then going through a couple of different time frames therefore, and looking back and seeing does anything line up the way, for example, here in the 24-hour time frame when it obliges and loads up. And you can see again here that there is a gap down below this box where you could eventually then arrive down at the Ichimoku cloud. But of course, if it didn't kind of just bounce off of one of these regions, absolutely could go down towards that 50% region. That's that 1800 area, and that's where you'd be looking for that bounce on it, of course. So the reasons for a fundamental basis for gold to be going towards the top side are very clear. The relationship on the charts here, I think, says an awful lot more than that news article that did earlier that we were looking at with regards to the Fed statement. And that's how I'm looking at gold currently in terms of like where it could go in the here and the sort of the micro scale. Talking about that from that point of view is really only going to benefit anybody who's trading that in the short term, in which case, if you want that sort of level of detail, feel free to donate or whatever. But I mean, fuck it, man, I'm moving on. I'm back to Graceland. Graceland, GME AMC. I'm going to Graceland. Graceland. Cool, nice one. So how's everybody getting on in there? Aaron, best teacher ever, holy fuck. Nice one, thanks very much. That's a very good compliment. Thanks, I'll look them up. TR is bombarding me with ads, but as far as I know, they're not better than RH. Cool, nice one. I'm not really sure what that is. Robin Hood perhaps is the RH. I don't know. Chat amongst yourself, Julian, and all that. Crack on. Duro, and with the strength of 10 men. Oh, you deleted it. I don't know. Seemed like maybe you were saying something nice. Maybe an Aladdin quote. Kevin says, Julian, what country are you in? And you're chatting to each other. That's pretty cool. Is there a broker you would suggest? That's what the conversation is about, of course. If it was urgent, I'd super chat you. Otherwise, just curiosity, says Frostcrest. All right, cool. Let me just look up the way here and see who was it? Frostcrest. What are you talking about, Frostcrest, mate? Was it you that asked me to look at gold, like, or whatever? Oh, aye, back. He wanted to take a look at back. Baby, I got back. As they say, you know how it goes. Back, banking in the USA. Woo! I'm banking in the USA. Any natural correlation on this chart that anybody suspects that they can see? I mean, we did talk about the correlation between gold and GME in the charts there. Not the correlation, that's the wrong word to use because they're not correlated in this exact moment in time. As you can see, I demonstrated that on the 24-hour time frame. But what they are is got a sort of similar sort of technical analysis, classical technical analysis set up on the charts there. Anybody recognize what, of course, baby got back looks like over here? I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. Spy, yeah, all right, okay, yeah, you're right. That's right, of course, right. Well done. So, just looking at, I mean, it's not a surprise to see in a general sense that there is the sort of the generic sort of correlation here between these charts on these different on this kind of movement up the way here. This is obviously a lot more recent, but there is this. Just hit auto, maybe that'll help sort it out in terms of that and that. Okay, so drop down, push up, drop down, push up. I mean, that's kind of basically what we're looking at here. This hasn't come quite as high as this one. This one's clearly gone up a little bit higher. What do you suspect in terms of that move? It looks a little bit like it's between the two, the 1.27 and the 1.618 in terms of its overall measurement. Let's see how much higher that high got than the other. Okay, it's actually at the 1272. It was maybe I was a little bit kind of generous to the look at that one there. So it made up as high as that one. How's it going over here on the old SPY territory? Not quite as high as that 1.272. So like you can see, though, overall, generally speaking, we've fuck it, take the SPY off there. It's actually just a distraction. Don't need to like constantly be making these sorts of types of, just because I did it once doesn't mean I did do it twice and 3 times, 4 times, right? So anyhow, Bank America, right? Natural profit taking place. It's come in there. We've seen it 1,000 times. It may happen 1,000 more times, but are you particularly worried about it right now? Is that pullback necessarily sufficient? Is the natural question on everybody's lips. And as we can see here, just looking in, and you would have known this already because you'd be able to look up towards the 1272 and the 1 point, because we learned that in the previous lesson, did we not, with regards to the range between these two zones, that the 236 on this one, thanks so much by the way, Chris, I'll get around to reading that in just a second, really appreciate it. So yeah, this is, so obviously then you would have suspected that that's where the 236 would be at, which is of course where our prior highs are. That's got a natural, if you like, implication to it in terms of confluence. Of course, does it not? I mean, you're looking at the previous high and where the 236 would be on a Fibonacci retracement point. So that would be the key zone to defend in terms of this one at the minute. And if it does pull down past that area, then of course you're not going to, you're going to anticipate that it would be going down a bit further. This happens to be where the 200 simple moving average is at the moment, but if this thing were to take some sort of due course to do it, and if it were to go down, here, then by that stage the 200 would be up. You'd be asking at that point, can we get a support along the 200 simple moving average and the confluence that we have with not only the 236 but also our prior high? Okay, those would be the 3 questions that you'd be asking at that point, should we see a pullback down the way. So is it conceivable that we had one with those 3 questions in mind? I'd say say have one, you know, potentially coming up for us? Well, I would say no, it's not. I mean, yes, it's conceivable. I can't remember what question I asked. Basically, I'm trying to say it's possible. But then looking here at where we've come recently, you know, has this got divergence on it? Just looking at it, you know, I mean, it clearly does, right? You can tell by looking at the sort of the highs and the lows and just seeing how this looks like this thing. And that's what when people come in with that phrase where they go, I'm rolling, I'm rolling, I'm rolling fucking over. That's what rolling over looks like, if it does actually kind of, you know, roll over. So we've got to that point now where we can be kind of scrupulous with regards to our prior high, our low. Where does that come in at? Well, it only comes in at the goddamn 236s. Oh wait a minute, is that right? What's that line doing there? Yeah, it's also another fourth. Is it fourth or fifth by this point? I don't know, stage of confluence with this one. So you can imagine then, of course, that everybody and their mother would be knowing what they'd be doing with their positions should we see the prices going back down underneath that. That price point happens to be around about that 35 buckaroonie area for us on it, okay? Otherwise, you know, will we be able to find support of this region? At this stage, what much of an edge have you got, really? I mean, this is looking at it and trying to say, well, do we have much of an edge at all? So let's look for something that could potentially be quote unquote edgy. And well, we do. I mean, we've got these lows coming in here, so this is a positive upward trend. I mean, and that's, you know, price action is king. We've come down to the 50 simple here, the 50 simple moving average, right? So if you were trading this at the minute, this is what I didn't do on the other one. In fact, I'm going to cut myself short here in a second when I'm doing this. But if you didn't trade, if you were looking at this and looking for sort of confluence, etc., in now in order to take a trade, and I'm not a financial advisor, none of this is financial advice, then of course you'd be more than delighted to see the hidden bullish divergence, which would be appearing on here as soon as we confirm this as a local low. So what we're also confirming at that time, of course, bing, is that you've also found support, pardon me, at the 50 simple moving average, and you'd have that hidden bullish divergence on the go as well at that point. So you'd have two reasons to give yourself an edge, and you'd be looking at this and saying, quite simply, really taking out your previous lows and looking for 40 would be how you would manage your risk on this one. And where you'd be looking for highs at this stage would be, well, you'd be thinking to yourself, well, if we're so bearishly divergent along these lines here, maybe of course there's a couple of different things, like, you know, the sort of we don't actually take out our prior high, big question to be asking. But in fact, if we do push past that, maybe we've actually managed to do enough here at this point to boil off some of that divergence, and we actually get to push on a wee bit higher and do that slightly absurd thing that happens during bull markets where you just go a bit higher before you kind of swap things around a bit. What's that? That's just actually being pushed around by the whims of bigger fish. And what do we do as traders? Well, we buy and sell risk. Okay, so your risk increases exponentially below 40, and of course at the moment as well, you know, you have to admit that, I mean, 5% is probably the safe bet there in terms of covering off any sort of risk that you have in your position. At that point, you're looking for a free bet towards the top side. Bear in mind then we have had a few pullbacks along the way here from the to give us measurement possibility off of. You can see that we obviously push on quite on up the way, but you can see as well that there's degree of inflection at the 1618. Maybe worth looking there, or indeed the 272. Between these 2 points here, of course, the shallower low and high, this is another expression of how that divergence would naturally show up in the charts. Seeing that we came in at the 1618, so we went from the sort of 2 to the 1618, and then maybe perhaps, you know, if you're just kind of not be too greedy overall and you were thinking along the lines of like maybe we get one more thrust up the way and then have another pullback, you'd maybe be looking to take profit in the rounded region of sort of 44, 45, and then basing on. Okay, hit like if you've got any value from any of that. Thanks so much. Right, back on over to the other side. Back on over to the other side. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in, and ladies, of course, as well. Gentle lady gents, and gentle ladies, and yeah, thanks very much. Tell your friends, by the way, this is the place to be. So GME 220, oh, it hasn't changed much. That's odd. Who'd have thunk it? Oh, 54 on AMC, that's cool. Maybe we did buy ourselves 5 minutes. Nice one. It's what you call making time. Right, so everybody, how are you doing? That was pretty decent, was it? What was that thing called again? All right, back. Baby, I got back. It is the Bacon Company, America's most popular back bacon company. Baby, I got back. That jiu-jitsu guy, these ambo calls are killing me. I need some dark pool action, bud. Yeah, man, I don't know. I'll get on it. Chuck stones out the window or something. I'll get on it, man. I'll manipulate that for you. Grace Foundation says, I try. Well, I don't know what that's in the context of, but Grace Foundation, I am pretty sure you do try. So I'll back you on that one. Thanks so much for back, mate. My boss called for the first part of it, and I will rewatch it once the live stream ends. Well, get your boss to watch it too. Maybe you can quit the job together. You'll get off your back a wee bit. How about that? Had to do some work. Can anyone give me a little summary of that complicit lit person J. Powell said? I couldn't, sorry, Evan. Vic Vince, it's a clue. Doors of Perception was inspired by thingy. What's this? There's some clue chat in there. It would be one heck of a rabbit hole to start going down on a live stream, wouldn't it? I tend not to engage too much in the old treasure hunt chat when it comes up. When Ambo, yeah, exactly. When Ambo, maybe that's something I should get on a t-shirt one of these days. It's pretty cool. I like it. I like the Ambo emoji as well. Right. Telling folks about you, bro. Thanks so much, Grace Foundation. That's really awesome of you. No way. I hate my boss. I hope he shorts GME. Yeah, that's funny. Reissue. Nice to see you again, matey. Same, but people still think I'm crazy for suggesting these bros. Well, yeah, man. People gonna crazy thinking. I don't know. I don't know what the appropriate phrase is for that. Thanks though. Every time I buy a GME share, I have a few dollars left in the account. Do you have any tips on any penny shares? Not really, to be honest with you. And perhaps Naked is the one that you'd be looking for if you're looking for one at the minute. I mean, it's also got the whole it's also got the awareness or sort of attention of people on Redditopia, of course, as well. We're looking at this one with a play at the minute. It's in around about 70 cents. We've been talking recently about how, you know, it could potentially go as low as 67. It's got a bit of a bull flag formation on the go at the minute. A lot of volatility in this region, and you could just be going up, you know, towards the 100% rise. Just 100%, and then, you know, perhaps fail. Who knows, right? But then, of course, if this did work out as being a head and shoulders pattern, and I kind of go ahead and draw the stupid thing in with the head and shoulders thing. I was talking to somebody about this head and shoulders tool recently again afterwards, by the way, and they agreed with me that it sucks balls. I was going to say like some tips for using it, but what's the point there? Whenever I messed it up so much, I actually navigated away from the page. What was the thing we were even talking about called again? Oh, knackered. Get knackered. Not financial advice. Yeah, so like there's this region in here, and there's no point really even using the head and shoulders tool for it. Just this general region in here is like pretty, you know, it's hard to say where the neckline on this thing could be, but it's because of the sheer volatility of these wicks and the fake outness of the, if you like, of them. Pardon me again, but we can see that we've got this sort of formation here. In fact, how about I just dive up towards a 3-day time frame to make it even more like, I don't know, whatever, head and shoulders, right? So where's the drawing tool here? Give me the drawing tool back. So you've got your shoulder here, your shoulder here, and your shoulder here, right? Or your head here, sorry, and your shoulder here. You've got your neckline, and it's kind of fuzzy. And you've got your sort of whole fake out zone here in this box. Above any sort of neckline, and then of course looking on up the way afterwards, it changes the conditions, because you're talking about this whole thing at that point being a bottoming formation, and you probably change the conditions in the market. And this is a logarithmic chart, right, at this point. So what that looked like there was a very, 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 very small movement, but of course it will reveal itself when we zoom in a wee bit on that. But that would be your measured move off the back of that thing. And where does it take you? Where does it take you really in terms of how it goes up here, sugar? And you're looking at potentially God. Right, so the lows were in there about 0.06 and the highs are in there about 160. So there's a easy dollar move on this thing. It's just that the line looks so small because this chart moves up so quickly. So if you do break that 360 region, you could be going up towards where the 200 simple is at the minute. This here, in terms of just looking at it from that point of view, doesn't seem like anything amazing perhaps to the uninitiated, but it absolutely is, because it sets you right up for doing a whole cascading movement towards the top side overall, which is then obviously nice, because looking back the way you can go up towards your highs and you can go down towards your lows, and you could say, well, even just going up towards sort of these technical targets that the computers alone might shove the thing up to would be tasty. And therefore it's I'm not a financial advisor and this financial advice, but you can see we're at the 236 at the moment. So if this bull flag works out well and we move up towards this zone, we're also taking out the 382, you know, and you might as well look towards $9 and then $29 thereafter, right? So the current target would be you know, the current sort of target on this one is somewhere up towards $2, maybe 150 at the minute in terms of 100% up, blah blah blah. Now all of this could obviously turn out to be complete pie in the sky at the end of the day, but this is what we're looking at for now, and that is of course an edge in the market, and that is something. So if you're looking for something, then there's something for you, but I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. In fact, what's the time at the minute? 8:46. Cool. Let's check in with our pals. Oh, look at that, 223 on GME. That's not too bad to see. 55 on AMC. I'm happy with that. Oh he. Looking then on the way, let's actually just go do the rounds on the crypto world actually real quick instead here. Bitcoin back at that 38 price point. Oh, what a surprise. Oh, what did we talk about? Well, of course 38 to 42 is the current range, perhaps. Is of course slightly higher than the previous range. That's the 3-day time frame. Dropping down to the 24-hour time frame still doesn't look like you're in a potential area to be talking about it along those lines, and indeed you're not. It's only when you get down to something low like the 1-hour time frame now you can see that perhaps, you know, we're in this sort of a range here. Taking out 38 at the minute is obviously pretty shitty. It's like, that's why we talked about it as being that number to look to, but that's of course where a good edge resides on the chart, okay, with Bitcoin. And your targets thereafter actually move up in nice decent 10% chunks, starting off with like 42 grand, and then move 42 grand really is the sort of the top end of that range, so you'd obviously be looking out for that. I'm not a financial advisor, but I'd obviously be looking out for that. And then I'm talking about $44 thereafter. Oh, check it out. This is from your brother. I hope my sons will grow up and have a relationship like you two do. This is like, thanks so much, Paul. That's really, really nice. That's really, really nice. And yeah, I hope so too. It's good. It's a good thing to do. Good thing to have. Right. Yeah, so I'd be looking up towards then eventually 48 grand on this one before, and that leaves me in a position to be able to remain, you know, completely agnostic in the overall macro trend on the market, because at that stage you've not either taken out your higher previous highs, etc., and is actually only coming in at this knot here, if you like, as well in the prices. There you go. When Ambo it happened. So that's kind of what I'm talking about right now with regards to there we have it moving now. Oh, is it not gonna? I don't know, whatever. With Bitcoin at the minute, you know, so how does it look? Well, it looks all right. You could talk about this as being sort of inverted head and shoulders, and we haven't got the full move just yet. We're back down retesting the neckline. Not the most amazing, most positive outcome from sort of head and shoulders type chat, but whatevs. And then yeah, 40,000 is a nice kind of round enough number to be looking to. Above 40,000, feeling pretty positive. You know, we've got a buffer behind us of 5%. Below that, we've got a buffer of thingy, right? Getting calls here to go on to GME. Oh, boom. Nice. 228. A rocket taking off. I'd have to go over to the old YouTubes for that. Let's do it. Let's go to YouTube. Let's get rocket taking off. This is it. Space shuttle launch. Has it got music? Probably got music. It's all that good stuff, right? Let's do it. Jimmy says to do this, so let's do it. He says stick it on the background. I don't know how you look at the price and the rocket taking off at the same time, but we'll just put this on instead of the chart. I'm not changing. I'm not. Just hear it. Okay, we'll just hear it instead. So, good one. Jimmy's calling for that. I'm just happy to see the prices above 222. If we remain the end of the day above 222, that's fantastic. If we can actually go up there and start tickling 230, then that's, you know, even better setup. You know, everything's just better and better and better at that point. Doing this sort of thing is completely not the way I would normally do things. So I'm going to give full credit to Jimmy's for this idea, because I don't really buy into FOMO. But why not? Let's just fuck it up. Let's do the FOMO. Come on, guys. How long is this video? 3 minutes 50. Oh, well, that's cool. It gives us time to look at this. Oh, it's the last 10 minutes of the day as well. Brilliant. Buckle up, says Edgar Pena. Yeah, buckle up. We're going. Buckle up, guys. I'm not gonna upset anybody if I just like remind folk that this is, of course, at the top end of that range that we're at the minute. So, just so everybody knows. That's right. Tickle it, GME. Yeah, tickle it. Come on, guys, get that rocket going. Yes. It's 9, 8, 7. Woo! Yeah, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Tickle the 30s. Tickle 230. Come on. Come on. Woo, come on. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Wow. Wow. Fuck yeah. Wow. Stay up there though. Stay up there. It's just so incredibly awesome. There's no words for that. I love that so much. Fuck yeah. Nice. Nice. Right. Get stuck in, it says. There's a thanks so much. I hope it's not Challenger. Yeah, fuck yeah, fuck yeah. Whoop whoop. Oh, thanks, Luke, man. That's so awesome of you. Really, really generous. Thank you so much, buddy. Thank you so much. Of course, when it gets up to here, it gets quiet because you can't hear anything in space. Thanks. Negative return. That's what we heard. Sorry, just go back there a second there. Just confirm with us. Wait a minute. Nobody could hear that. This whole time it was just me shouting at the camera. Ha! That's embarrassing. Well, it's not really embarrassing. It's kind of how I roll, really, isn't it? Well, there you go. I could put it on again. Yeah, I could put it on again. We'll just check in with the charts there. Hey, that's how I roll. We'll check in with the charts and I'll try and get my audio working in the background. That's so hilarious. People, I'm so glad that the community is so supportive out there that when I check back into the charts, it's not just all people laughing at me. Which, you know, they could be justified in doing, perhaps. Right. Yeah, that should hopefully at least force the issue with the audio. Desktop audio 2. I've got 2 of them now. Let me play something and see if it works. There's me trying to get it saying negative return. Aha. Right. Yeah, it was worth pointing out during that, I hope it wasn't too much sort of pissy bonfire-y from me, that of course we're at the top end of that range at the minute. I want to see the prices end the day above 222, and I'm kind of, you know, like pretty keen on that at the minute. If we can tickle the 230s, then I'm dead happy about it, because of course that's putting us in a position where you're talking about fake outs and breakouts, which is of course what you want to be talking about. Lamau, you were just laughing for 2 minutes and I had no idea why, because I'm driving. All right, that's cool. Well, you know, I've got no idea why, and I don't even have the excuse of driving for why I was laughing for 2 minutes there. Lamau, hi, can you react on Wall Street versus Wall Street Bets middle ground video? I've got no idea what that is even, by the way, Jack Ali. I'd have to look. What is it? Oh wait, is the day ended yet? No, sorry, I can't do any of that. We've got 5 minutes left in the day. Then I could go and look at some video on the old YouTubes and do the old reacting thing, I suppose, for a wee while. I could try that out. I could try it out for a wee while. What we'll do is, right, current schedule, current itinerary is we're going to watch GME get another really positive close on the day here, right? Nice. That's what we're going to do. And they're also going to watch AMC get another really positive close on the day here as well. That's what we're about to do. And then we're going to go on and take a look at, do I bother with Bitcoin? Probably not. I kind of covered it. Ethereum, Chainlink, Tezos. There we go. We sort of snapshot of cryptocurrencies. Maybe choose another random one off that list. Uniswap, something like that maybe today. I don't know. And is that it? Oh, aye, there. Then we'll take a look at your man's video. I knew there was something else. Rocky's Tay is like the dudes, man. Jamie is like Walter. Obey the fucking rules. That's nice. That's funny. Just bing the bong. Let's keep going. Woohoo! Alexei says best dude on the internet is moi. Oh, that's so nice of you. Thanks so much. Thank you so much. Triple X might be the perfect number, says Tradespot. Oh, that's good, but you're getting algebraic on me. Right, let's algebraic it down for you guys here. That stalling for the last couple of minutes there didn't really push me. I was really hoping that would get us closer to the last minute of the day. Let's do some more chatting here. You know how it goes here. I mean, I could for the final part of the day be all like this. Right, go down to the 1 minute time frame. Right, we'll just do this. We'll just do it for a while. We'll do it for a while. Let's do it. Let's be extra positive about it as well. Let's call this a bull flag right here on the 1 minute time frame. Excellent. Right, let's call it a bull flag on the 1 minute time frame. We'll take a measured move from, we'll call that the flagpole. We'll pocket the whole way up, in fact, this time, and we'll say that at this here 1 minute time frame, yes, 235, it's possible. Okay, so it's obviously that's extremely optimistic that there, but it's possible, and that's good enough for me. And what we do on this one, we'll just look at that and declare that 55 is our sort of line for the day. And looking between these areas, I will just do a quick and easy rapid fire. 56.12, that's kind of what we're looking to on this one. Okay, we'll look between 56.12 and 56.60 and just be kind of like super needlessly positive about this current price action. By needlessly, I mean I'm super happy seeing it above 222, and I'm super happy seeing this up in there in the 50s and 54 and all the rest of it. But let's just go with that for last minute. How much did that stall and get me? Right, I've got 2 minutes left on the day. Damn it. Just kidding. Right, yeah, come on, rip. Let's do it. Let's rip. Come on, rip. Oh, my camera broke. Oh, the last few seconds. Yeah, brilliant idea. Jimmy's so much better at this than I am. You see him saying this stuff about pulling his microphone out and all that. That's just him pretending to not be better at YouTube than me. You know? So we've got like here we fucking go. Let's do this. Start. 2, 1. Booster ignition and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery, returning to the space station, paving the way for future missions beyond. Okay, wait a minute. Actually, it says negative return here at one point. And that's really what I wanted on this video.
Remember, you can go and throttle up.
Needs to stop making noise and stuff.
Throttle up, throttle down like a lot of steam.
separation confirmed. Guidance now converging. Discovery's onboard computers commanding the main engine nozzles to swivel, aiming the shuttle for its precise target in space for main engine cutoff.
Should have a good forward link now on S10.
Dan, you sound good.
Discovery Houston, negative return.
Copy.
Discovery Houston, negative return.
Copy, negative return.
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 Wow, that was nice, wasn't it? We ended the day at 221.73 over here on this particular chart, and the way that I'm looking at it right now, that's the number I'm being informed about. I'm not going to be disappointed about anything in there in the last 1 minute. That was just for funsies. Well, overall, we did exactly what we wanted to see happen, and we're above the 50 simple moving average in the 1 minute time frame, as if that means anything, really. But what does mean stuff is that we've actually come right up to where it hurts. You know, we're here where it hurts. That's wick here, obviously, you know, somewhat kind of like a little bit of fun for us. That's exactly what it felt like at that time. Let's just call that practice, okay? We'll call that target practice for just now. Over here on the old AMC, we managed to do, you know, precisely what I wanted to see. All of this extra sort of last minute hype stuff was just for the old shits and giggles, but actually, again, we did precisely what we wanted to see happen overall. That's, of course, the 1 minute time frame. In terms of the 30 minute time frame, for example, we're up above that 50 simple. That's pretty good. It's where we want to see it. We're above the 15, you know, moving up here, moving on up, and that's decent enough overall. I'm happy to see it. Aiming, you know, really, you know, we don't need to kind of ponder too much about our targets going. We have had them laid out for the last wee while. Suffice it to say that seeing it above the 236 here, since we had the highs down to those most recent lows and settling at this point, is absolutely precisely what I was talking about. And then over here as well, you could make similar arguments, but I've kind of said enough on that front. Let's fucking go. Thanks so much to Andy A. Bippity bippity slippity sloppity. These dirty hedgies gonna go a mega floppity. All hail Scottish TA. Diamond hands, baby. That's right. And if it ain't Scottish, it's crap. Thanks so much, Andy A. Right. Cool, excellent. F yes, F on the F for the F. Thanks, F and F. Let's F and move on to the F here. We kind of covered up as much as we needed to talk about in this one. There we have it again. Just read it out once more. Bippity, boppity, slippity, sloppity. These dirty hedgies gonna go mega floppity. All hail Scottish TA. Thanks, Diamond Hands, baby. That's right. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's never a bad time. There is never a bad time for this. Never a bad time for this at all, ladies and gents.
You've got your mind made up, ain't nothing to see. Wondering why I'm smiling.
Right, cool. Looking to see if we can stay above 38,000 here on Bitcoin. If we do, then the mid ground on that one's 40, but I really need to see it above 42 to start having a real chance of getting 48. Then it becomes a reality. It's totally possible. You could be looking at this as a head and shoulders inverted, of course, in terms of what's going on here, or numerous different other things. Really doesn't matter. Even if you're going as far as to call this a wedge, which you're of course breaking out of some sort in this, not that triangle, but something, whatever that we happen to be breaking out of, that's all jolly good. Do we come back down and retest this area? Well, if we do, then I need to see a response. My kind of cut-off point on this one's 35,000, 36,000, sorry, on this one. Music's too loud a wee bit. That's cool. We'd kind of covered the Bitcoin technical. That was really good there, but well, you know, lost in the ether of time. Now, as we look on with the Ethereum price action, we can see this is actually pulling down a wee bit here, and still need to be aware the lows today 2,376. It's not actually taking out the area that we really need to be concerned about, which is actually a bit lower than that, in it around about, call it all the twos. If we start seeing price action below all the twos, well then you snooze, you lose on holding on to those positions. Don't get abused by the fluctuations of the market. Now, but if we do actually manage to find support if needed down below, where's that going to need to come in at? Well, that's useless for us. In fact, that's the 1 hour time frame. That's partly why. But yeah, actually, still looking weak. If this can break out, then fantastic. You know, it could go either way overall with this consolidation pattern, and I'm just waiting to see how it actually pans out. I'm looking very keenly at the highs and the lows outside of this zone, because, you know, while we're below 2,800, what is it? Well, it's fake out territory on this pattern. While we're above 2,200, what is it? Well, it's fake out territory on this pattern. F out. So, and that of course is when you know that you want to get the F out of positions that are going against you, should you see taking out those areas. Moving on here, we've got Link versus USDT. It's at 23.48. Okay, nice one. It's had that pullback. Excellent stuff. I say it's had that pullback. It was kind of, you know, the profit taken coming in here at $25 or so below the 200 simple moving average is to be made aware of. Do I want to actually kind of see this move towards the top side? I absolutely do. Points of concern for me come in here when we kind of acknowledge the overall 1, 2, and 3 touches along the way here of this descending triangle. Is that fair to say that? Well, it certainly is, but am I looking for us to actually, you know, trade this right now? Well, no. So long as we're above 20, I'm absolutely really happy with the chain link pricing over here, but it's really, you know, at this stage we need to take out our prior high of 26.50, and where the 200 simple is before we can start looking up towards those higher targets, potentially coming in at around about 40. If this actually then extends on a little bit further, then it gets down a little bit, you know, more realistic sounding, and then actually we're looking towards that $36 price target that we've had in mind for the last wee while, bearing in mind that 33 along the way is obviously a profit taking zone, and we're not going to get super positive until we're above 25. Looking up towards 33 then again, as well as that fake out territory towards the top side. I'm not taking longs below 20. Moving on towards XTZ USDT, for example, here on this chart right here, you can see in the past we obviously annotated how important it would be to take out 580, and the price is currently here at 316. You're happier going long when we're above all the threes, but where we are, and that's just the way it is. Looking at this from a sort of a degree of objectivity, what does that really mean, Rocky? Well, as I draw in this Fibonacci and try and eventually get it sorted out there, you can see that it comes in at the 236, comes in there at 326 or so, whatever, kind of moves around a fair bit whenever I kind of, you know, position this badly. But I'm talking about all the threes at the minute. Right now below here, I'm not massively concerned, but I do have to point out the same sort of idea along the lines of the significance really of where we've had our recent lows at, coming in here at around about that $2.90 to $3 area. That's currently going to be your best buy price. We're still on the way down there, and of course we need to start taking out these highs. At this point we can look up towards, you know, obviously the rationalizations that come in at around 333 to 337 are going to be rash, you know, as people think about their positions. But it's obviously really all eyes are going to be on the 387 area for any sort of fake out movements on this one, and being able to take that out is important, because the range on this one is not, you know, it's not massive. It is sideways and whatever, but it does bring us up as high as the 450 area, and above 450 is when things start getting positive really again, with us moving in for that target, eventually coming in perhaps for that 580 target at our previous highs overall on that one as well. So right now, waiting for this consolidation to finish out. Not going to learn an awful lot about all these things down here, but if you did want to look at this on 24-hour time frame and say that you got a buy signal on the MACD, then well yeah, then you could, right? You could absolutely do that. We don't have any sort of follow through at the minute to say that it's that you're getting the beautiful picture that you maybe might want to see, but it's there, and therefore it's worth pointing out the fact that we're above the neutral, or above the bearish control zone, as I have it positioned on my charts. In my RSI here, coming in at 35 is obviously good, but we can see the negative strength of trend hasn't fully diminished yet. I'm waiting for this to pop down below. See the DMI here, the ADX popping down, staying up above is nice, but the I'll start to feel a lot more negative if we see this taking out these 25s and moving up towards 30. Obviously we'll be cracking down past previous support there, and it would start to get a bit worried on it. So what did I say was that random other coin that I would take a look at? I said maybe Uniswap today for a different look at something else. Is it on this list here? I've got it versus Bitcoin, but that's not the one that I want to look at. I've got it over here, I'm sure, versus the USD already saved, so I don't have to actually bother typing. That would be convenient. And here we have it, $22 on this one, right? This one did a concept that we already talked about early on. Is called rolling over. And what did we describe in this section here? Of course, we were going to look at these divergences, etc. So that's a nice little sort of catch up with something we mentioned earlier on. It's always nice to give a couple of extra examples, and that was it happening right in front of our very eyes. We came down towards the 200 simple moving average over here, so you know that line there that I'm trying to kind of scribble on top of, and so far we're finding that this is actually operating as support. Of course, the 50 simple's got a downward slope, it would do by this stage, but I'm really looking forward to seeing if we can take it out. Being below $30 on Uniswap is a bit of a problem for me. Being above $20 on it does make me feel, you know, cozy, but I have to say that, you know, it's like cozy because we have to be aware, are we feeling nice and cozy because the house is actually on fire? Let's keep our eye out for it, and movements down below sort of $19 really on a closing basis here on the 24-hour time frame would definitely leave me with a good deal of cause for concern, because in terms of percentage movements, where you could find the prices going thereafter, of course, drops down a net another 30% or so, and that would be an issue for people who are trading this mother. Right, back over to the old dual screen layout with the old AMC and GME, and see how the chat is getting on. I've been streaming for 59 minutes and 49 seconds currently as time sponsored by Accurist, and this is been a fantastic stream so far. So if I just catch up with the chat, maybe there's a chance of me nipping off before too long. Let's see if anybody wants me to take a look at anything in specifics or talk about anything in particular. Otherwise, I'll head off fairly soon. So cool, nice one. How are you all doing and all that? I'll scroll back up a wee bit and see if I've missed anything in the meantime. If you can do Evoqua Water Technologies Corp, Common Stop, Aqua. You did wrong one last stream. Is that what you're looking for FFS? Well, thanks so much for letting me know. Let me just take a look then. Aqua, right? So I didn't even know what I was on. Probably this thing. I probably just didn't even look. I just went for the top one. More on me, eh? Right. So cool. Let's just have a wee quick look see at that thing then. Bringing it on up. AQUA and Evoqua. Oh, cool. Well, I've got this thing here in the DMI. Being asked at the minute, you know, why does the DMI flash sometimes in the background? And we can see a couple of instances here on the 24-hour Evoqua Aqua chart here as it's traded in America. And the CBOE that I'm looking at right now. Max Greenwell, Rocky, you've added so much value to my tea experience. You are a gem. Thanks for all you do. That's really, 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 really appreciated, Max. Thanks so much. Right, so let's discuss just real quick then what these white boxes in the back of this DMI mean. They are showing up here specifically when the ADX has come down to these really, really low points. These ADX comes down to a really, 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 really low point. Quite often this kind of signals to us where there's going to be a likely equilibrium revisitation zone, if you like. I don't know what to call it specifically. We can see here at the very end of this zone, when it was white, the prices did indeed actually come back down to that price point where they departed from. Over here you can see it ended white. Where did it end? White. Did it come back down again? Not quite as far as that necessarily. So it's not the perfect signal all the time on all time frames for all charts, always, but it is actually pretty good. Let's see if we get a few more of them on the 4-hour time frame so I can see, because this thing, I've explained it numerous times in the past, obviously, but it can be quite a powerful little tool to have in your little tool box. How about I bring up a randomly sort of chart? Let's look at Tron versus Bitcoin. There's something I know I've not looked at in a very, very long time. Okay, myself personally, let's just see. This price ended here. The white box ends here, and the prices are at this point, and the price went up and it came back down to that zone. Okay, that was actually not very much movement overall in terms of what that looks like to the naked eye. What was it then in terms of like the drop down? Had you been anticipating it 5%? But so you can see if you were trading this with like 10x, then you would have been wiped out in that position overall. But you are able to use this idea and say, well, look, it's probably going to come back to this point here at some point. And that was a pretty shitty example though in terms of what you got out of it. And here it did it straight away as well. So you know, you want it to happen a little bit later. Obviously, you could make the argument that happened between here. Anyway, essentially what we're seeing here is there's this really low volatility, and after periods of really low volatility, you often get a spike up and back down, and that's kind of you know, from a fundamental type of point of view or a broader point of view, that could be like because there's a square up occurring in the charts, you know, in the world, where somebody is like wanting to is just simply like getting out at break even. That's kind of basic market making type philosophy, really, essentially. So when you see this sort of thing coming up, it's something to look to. Currently, it'd be the reason that, you know, I'm not 100,000. I invented this idea here, essentially. I've not seen it described anywhere else. So it's going to, you know, be a body of work that I conduct over a period of years researching this thing. This is fairly early days on this one, but I'm curious as to, on certain charts, whether or not we get this is a bad example chart as well. It's not a bad example, but it's just not fucking ideal. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, just little ideas like, are we going to see the FTSE 1000 dropping, or FTSE 100 dropping back down to 7,100? Probably. And you could have like known that at this point. Like, you could have known that at this point here when we moved up, but it's not a perfect thing. It's something that I'm working on essentially over a long period of time. But what it means is that the volatility was so low, and that so often the prices come straight back to where they were before, and it gives you a handy little sort of indicator that you're going to have that volatility, perhaps. And in terms of the GME chart right now, there's an interesting one in terms of the 4-hour time frame here. For example, looking back to to over here, this one actually got filled in straight away. There's a good example. Like, you know, the prices dropped just here. Where did they come? Right back to, you know, immediately afterwards. So the prices went down to 160. You could have bought it at 137, and, you know, from a trading point of view, now that's not what I'm doing with this particular stock, but you would have known that you would have not known, but you would have been, you know, fairly confident that you could have got back at that point, back out at that point there. So it's kind of for the benefit, in a sense, of the people who are at 160 to begin with, but you get to ride that wave up on the second half of it and make 20% profit off the back of, you know, just that little signal just there. Equally over here, we had another signal just at this point. Did we come back to it? You know, did we come back to it just here? Did we come back to this price point? Well, the prices moved on a way off, and then boom, they came back. You know, whether you want to debate about where that exact coming back to ness was, then there you have that. So on this point of view at the minute, then where is it? Is it on this chart? Yeah, the 24-hour time frame. This is what makes me kind of at the minute like looking and saying, well, if we did drop down the way, then we could see ourselves coming in towards this 186 price point. But it's hard to know because the next candle was at 211, and I'm saying quite openly and honestly here that this is a system that I'm developing myself, that I've not seen anywhere else. I can't go reference other people for information about this one, and it seems to me to be a ridiculously powerful signal in terms of being able to make money in market. So it's an incredibly powerful one, and, you know, and I would hesitate therefore to go out and start saying use this thing in whatever way until it's revealed itself fully to me as being what it is. So would it be from the top of the candle or from the lower end of the candle? If it's from the top of the candle, then you would have known when the prices bumped up here from the $210 area, regardless of the gap, that you would have been coming back down and giving you this great entry that we've had recently. Or it could be from the lower end of it, in which case you're looking down at that 186 region, and there's two reasons for both of these to be the bottom in this current pullback, you know, at least. There's multiple reasons for both of them, to either of them, which is why that exists just there. So I'm hoping and that I literally have not figured this part out yet, but my indicator is available out there for people, and they can of course go ahead and do it themselves. And this is set in terms of the settings of this thing, it's set to the volatility zone level set to 12. I mean, maybe, you know, if it was lower, then would it be giving you more false signals? As you can see here, you know, would it be giving you more false signals or not? Maybe you can see the 4-hour signal that we had up is showing up on the daily time frame on this chart. So is that ideal or not? Necessarily, if that was the signal there, you know, and then you could get and then it broadens it out a bit if you go up to higher time frames. So what one's the best one for stocks and whatever else right now? I don't know. I kind of came up with this looking at the cryptocurrency markets at the time, when I was programming it out, and to say that it's like, could it be like, you know, there and clearly pushing us up to that zone or not, I'm not 100% sure yet. Anyway, there's a pretty thorough and full-on explanation of what that thing is and why I've come up with it. And I'd appreciate it if you're out there in the world watching this and you've thought to yourself that you would steal that and run away off and make a whole bunch of fame and money off the back of it, that you'd at least send some credit back the way to the guy that invented it, which is me, by the way, myself, unique. Cool. What was it? Evoca water or something. Hey Rocky, wondered what you think of Bitcoin Gold and whether you or Jamie have any. I might have some of that shite from a long time ago. I'm not 100% sure. I've got quite a few random shit coins. I'm not too sure. I could take a look at it in a wee while, but I might not. I don't know, man, because your question says, do I have any or not? I'm not 100% sure if I do or not. Yeah, I'll just get on with this here. I want to do the aqua thing. Sugar. Right, I wanted to do it on a big chart without having to mess around. Right, great. Aqua, here we have it. Right, 24-hour time frame. High, bearishly divergent. Right, sweet. Okay, so we've got some bearish divergence. We're not taking out those lows quite yet, but certainly looks like at the minute, just off brief glance, that there's probably a 10% discount on the table for us. Come up here towards the 40 area. Bounced off of it. Wait a minute, I've got this on fib levels. I actually prefer this on the normal levels anyhow, compared to fib, the way that I've drawn this in the background. These lines come up towards 40 here and we're bouncing off of it at the minute. Yeah, to me this looks like it probably wants to do that, but if it finds a low just here, then that's interesting. You've got your clear sell signal in the MACD or whatever coming in if that was the case. So that's where that stands right now. Is that the 1272? Almost certainly is. Let's just kind of draw this in and kind of see, does it line up as well with us? No, it doesn't not quite got there. So could we push on for a third high? Well, that's maybe interesting. Maybe we do. Maybe we go up towards 34.79. It's not a huge amounts of profit to be had there on this one, but that could make sense. Do we do that? I wonder. 24-hour time frame, how are we looking at on this one? Well, that's a bit rich to call that an actual higher high. The previous high wasn't divergent in that sense. We never made it to it. Can we go up? Yeah, okay, cool. Maybe we can actually go up towards this 34.79 price point before pulling back thereafter. For what will ultimately come in as a test of the 50 simple moving average and give you your 10% discount. You know, whenever you get that, that'll happen at some point, most likely. Sorry, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Truth be known, I've actually got a fucking fuck off migraine at the minute, actually, to be honest, and that's why I just started talking like that. When I get lazy or I'm in pain or in drugs when I'm doing episodes, I start giving out TA like that. Pardon? Oh, can I have some likes, please? If anybody would like hitting the like button, that would be super awesome. I'm collecting it at the minute. I'm collecting them up. I want to have a nice collection of likes. So if you could add your like to that, that'd be sweet. Anyway, yeah, we could be aiming up there. Obviously, we can get continuation thereafter at the minute, but I'm just kind of looking at this in the shorter term trading point of view in terms of where we are. They're obviously in a nice upward strength movement here. Do we get... Yeah, okay, not... Right, not bearishly divergent on this time frame, looking pretty good. I'm happy overall. I'm aware on the lower term time frames, almost certainly here in the 1 hour time frame, we'll see this a lot clearer in terms of divergence. Yes, this has been a pullback. It's come as low as this. Is that the 50 simple? Okay, so your edge in terms of smaller term markets, really time frames, is really it's going to be about, can we stay above 32? That'd be how I'd be managing it. I don't even know what sort of time frame you're actually trading this thing on, to be honest with you. I'd be looking at this and saying, can I stay above 32? If not, then maybe I'm just going to wait and see if I get that discount or not on there. Otherwise, if we did take out that low though, then we probably would go down to yeah, negative cross on that one. No strength of trend. What's the 2 hour look like? Rick and Morty lips? No, it's crossed over. The 4 hour. No. Yeah, so to me overall this thing looks like it's not that healthy in terms of these small term time frames. I do think that we could push on up the way towards 34.79, but it's entering a higher risk zone here with regards to the lack of the little signs of weakness that are coming in here. But I don't think that that's a problem. I'm looking forward to seeing if they get a discount here, coming in at our prior highs, etc., and finding support there. I mean, it could have already been expressed in this previous movement, but at the minute today, I mean, I'd have been looking at this today and thinking, I don't know, and it's already done a chunk today down the way 2.6%. So I don't know. If we take that out, then we're going down 10%. How about that for, I don't know, can I leave it at that? Is that okay? I'll just check with you. Somebody asked for something else though. Oh, Bitcoin Gold, it's like called BTG or some crap. I'll take a look at the DFC, the Roaring Crate tweet in a second. What is the ticker for this one again? Gold, no, Bitcoin Gold, BTG, it's BTG. Oh, there it is on Binance anyway, that's fine. Bitcoin Gold, this doesn't seem that old on Binance. Maybe I don't have one. Where's that, May 21? No, I don't have one. No, I don't have Bitcoin Gold. It's probably like Bitcoin Diamond or some crap that I got. At the minute 236. Great. Okay, you've got an edge right now on this one. Nice one. So managed to save about $53. You could aim up towards 95. You probably want to take in some profit off the table at 65. Get a 20% move up there. Almost no excuses for it. The bouncing off at 78 area at the minute seems likely, so maybe just shy of that. Yeah, so I'd probably aim up to 77.77. All the sevens on this would be my target. All the sevens on this would be my target. But at the same time, that's contingent on us being able to maintain the 52. Okay, so not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just doing this a bit quicker because the old head. So that would be that. I would obviously take some profit off the table at 65. 65, I would take some profit off the table if I was trading this one, because looking at that, bing, bong, 25%. Who's going to sniff at that anyway? What's the problem with it? For a longer term move, of course, we can look up towards $96. That would be very, very nice. And then afterwards, it's a question, can we kick up, like the next target up the way is going to be 96 afterwards, right? And then the next target is going to be that 120 area. This movement here, this sort of 30% there, is going to be the risk zone of not continuing I'm going to presume on different charts here this had a movement up towards the top, and that this here time frame where the market's got bearish in general is just the latest of this. I'm going to assume that. I think that's a fair assumption, having looked at crypto enough. So if we want to continue the macro upward trend, fuck it, I can't make that assumption, can't actually do that. There we go. So there it is, not an assumption anymore, right? So if we were to do that, then I would of course be looking up towards those higher targets, and I'm really would be then excited about 261 to 435. Well, 435, yeah, 435, right? That's going to be your, if you're going to go crazy on it, then 435 is your target at the minute, right? That's your target, but of course massively contingent on able to stay above 52. And of course you would be kind of greedy, trying to carry your whole position that way. In terms of being a trader, so you'd be looking at those targets I spoke about before, which are 65, 77, 77, 92 to 120, and then of course 261 as well, to be aware of the fact that it's going to be this zone here where you'll be finding your flux. To put that into context for everybody as well, just watching along here, we'll probably be able to do the exact same thing kind of in the past, really, overall, with this movement up the way. So if we look between the just in terms of the expression of the moves that we've had here recently, this is the same sort of, this is what Elliott wavers kind of want to get at all the time, but they're pretty sucky at it. You can see we got up to the 1618 just there. And you can see then here from this area that we got up to the 16, well actually bust right on through that, went way high, fan dabby dozy, and then in this area here, we pulled up to the 1618, and then if this here pullback, this correction is like a massive correction within an overall upward trend, then you are absolutely entitled to look up towards those other zones. Great, nice one, I'm so glad I finished that. Right, great, cool, nice one. This chart, sweet, nice one. TY, I had to rewind to catch the start of that. Oh, cool, you're welcome. You're welcome. Oh, the DFV thing, that's what I was going to look at. Sweet. Thank you, yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. Roaring. A roar. Oh, it's her. Woo! 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 Yeah, and then woo! That's how I'm interpreting that one. Maybe deeper than that. We'll just keep kind of going. Just keep on going. Just keep on going. Woo! Yeah, that's how I'm going with that one. Nice one. I'll actually just put that in there. This means woo! Ha ha ha. Note it follows on from just keep on keeping on, man. Yeah, those are obviously not legit interpretations of his tweets. I'm just I'm just having fun there, right? Cool. I'm not actually trying to interpret that. That was just me having fun. for all of the people who can't recognize that. Chris Sweeney says, "Come rocket, go boom." There we go. Nice one. Die Another Dave, thanks again. Rocket, 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 rocket. Jeff Smith, Jeff buddy, cheers. Good to see you, Snuckers, mate. Good stuff. I'm bullish on picnic. Woohoo. Eddie B, lol. Die Another Dave, when can we go for a picnic? Tradespot. Oh, you're all chatting about picnic in there. That's cool. Tradespot, I often think the utility is fundamental selling point when in reality money is worth as much as people perceive it's worth. It's marketing we use to perception is always greater than reality. Absolutely, which is why conversations that go along the lines of what are the fundamental value of this stock are 99.99999% recurring bullshit. Welcome Daniel, says Myrna M. Oh, thank you. Wait, did I miss a member or something like that? I hope not. Did I? Just check my Streamlabs jobby. Doesn't look like it, so that's good. Yeah, cool, nice one. I missed your interview, Jamie. Mad props though. Oh, Sanjo Kojak. Oh, Scott man, good to see you. Good to see you, Scott man. Just thinking of you there when I was writing that keep on keeping on thing to your man. What's he called? Roaring Kitty. That's what I was thinking of there. Okay. So I'm going to put on Ronaldo Moreno and I'm going to start doing the reverse roll call in just a second. But before I do that, I think I'll say, today I'm a buy me some GME and get me some more old AMC. We're all struggling against this inflation, see, and I'm looking out for you and me. Cause hey ho, the hedges are fucked and our stock picks are going up. I'll win when everyone wins, just gonna hodl on to these things. So today I bought some GME, scooped it up at 217, dreaming of all the movies I'm gonna see. Got my tickets at 53. Cause hey ho, the hedges are fucked and our stock picks are going up. I'll win when everyone wins, just gonna hodl on to these things. Thanks so much for tuning in. Sauce Food Cart, Johnny Satsuma. Thanks so much for being here, Vic, Vince, Jason, and Kirsten. Jeff Smith, Trade Spotting, Eddie B, and Die Another Dave, Viv, Venna, Chris Sweeney, Alexi, Surfer, Michael, Daniel Dorstedt, Alexi, Surfer, Master Bilbo, Daniel Dorstedt, Sanjo Kojak, Minner M, Luke Spears, Trade Spotting, Mo Hussein, Max Greenwell, Dave's Not Here Man, Chris Sweeney, Master Bilbo, Jason and Kirsten, Nightbot, Jess Smith, Minner, Warlock for Hire, and Amber, Bogart, Che, Dead Money, All Stars, Trade Spotting, Minner, Mo Hussein, Luke Spears, Jason, Thomas, The Zig, Anaphalam, Afa, AF, Alam, yeah, Minner M, Daniel, Lessange, The Zig, Chris Sweeney, and remember our friend Shalom. Thanks very much to Paul B, Lee, Dan Dawson, and Grace Foundation. Thanks very much to Awkward, Lone Jerome, and Luke Spears. The Zig, Juro and Daniel, Fed Space Captain, Doppelganger, Strong, Cool, Menor, M. Kyber, Alexi, Imo, Dog, Arnie McInnes and Strong Cool, yeah, and Arnie McInnes and Morgan Rose, Flex Sweat Meet, the Greatest, Lee Willis, Jackson Thomas, Edgar Pena, yeah, Eddie B and Frostcast, Chris Cuisis, Epiphany Jones, Eddie B and Warlock for Hire Doppelganger, just dropping by, and Chris Germain, Carl Germain is actually your name, Jack Ali and Fed and Arnie and Merrick Sanders, Nick Corey, Merrick Sanders, yeah, Space Captain, and Mo Hussein, A. Alamo, yeah, and the real mole number 1. Let's put on Reynaldo Moreno and we can listen to someone who can actually sing. He's quite good at all of this and I'll defer to him. This is the song of 2021. I really like it. I recommend you go subscribe. Here's a link to his YouTube channel and I'm gonna hit play, yeah.
You've got your mind made up, ain't nothing to see. Wondering why I'm smiling, looking like I'm dumb money. See, I've earned my chips, screamed in pain, all the while fighting your denial like I don't have a seat at the game. I guess I'm deranged, but I'm gonna hold. I've been down much longer than you have been gone. Keep on paying no mind, I'm setting up mine. Best believe I know.
My hands are diamond. Our future is shining. My hands are diamond. And an extra special shout out, of course, to Jorge and Yeti Eddie, who both were donators during the show. And the super chats from Daniel Lesage, The Apocalypse, Arnie McInnes, D. Harker, Chris Coisis, Chris Sweeney, Paul Agresti, Tim Brown, Edgar Pena, Luke Spears, Andy A, Max Greenwell, and Die Another Dave. Thanks to everybody who also chose to hit subscribe here today. Really, really appreciated. I'll catch you in the next episode and I'll stop interrupting Ronaldo. For now, thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. I'll see you again tomorrow.
Yes, I'm deranged, but I'm gonna hold. I've been down much longer than you have been gone. Keep throwing chips in, you know in the end, this hand's deeper than your money, fool. My hands are diamond, our future is shining. My hands are diamond, never bet against me. Yeah, my hands are diamond, my hands are diamond. I guess I'm doing